Melbourne at Subiaco Oval. Bounce in the middle. Scott and Steins. Love it. Or was it Lyon? Lyon towards half forward. Picked up by McKenna. High kick towards half forward for his side. Johnson scrambles a kick back towards the middle. Lewis with great desperation and courage takes the tumbling mark.
So Chris Lewis from the centre to put the Eagles into attack, going down towards their half forward line. At the back was Dersma. With him now, he loses it, may try and paddle it out to stretch, does so, but the whistle has sounded, and it will go back to Jamie Dersma. Free kick for being pushed in the back. Dersma going short centre wing. Lovett takes the mark. Over Chris Lewis, he kicks towards the wing again. McKenna close to the boundary line, so too is Lyon. And it will be the latter who will take the free kick. Too high, said the umpire. So Lyon centres it to Steins, who again has a big job to do today with O'Dwyer still out to half forward. Eichhold couldn't take it with the one hand. The hand pass came away from Lamb, put his teammate under a little bit of pressure, Worsfold, but he gets his kick towards centre wing. Mainwaring and Stretch should be a great duel. Attempted sock off the ground. Great courage shown by Steins. Back with Stretch again, still on the wing. Steins' left foot short kick. They'll bottle it up on the wing. Another free kick's being picked out. This time it will go the way of the West Coast Eagles, and Chris Mainwaring to take it.
Short passes. Phil Scott's got it now. Long bomb. It's gone a long way. They'll contest about 50 metres out. Off hands quickly down to Miles, who seems to be on the forward line for the moment. Johnson out of the congestion, back towards the wing. Eichhold did well across the face of Mainwaring, fisting towards the boundary. Eichhold, well shepherded by Lyon, gets the kick away down towards half forward, and Spalding takes it on the burst, keeps it in too. Well played, Earl Spalding. Scrambles a kick down towards the forward pocket. It ricochets back towards Spalding. Shepherded by Bennett. In goes Sumich though. Did well. Picked up by Turner. Turner's kick goes out of bounds on the full in the right back pocket for the Eagles.
Rod Grinter playing in the forward pocket for Melbourne. Usually a back flanker. Grinter coming in for his first game.
Lyon has been in the thick of things so far to take a kick from about 60 metres out. Into open space intended for Bennett. Awkward half volley for him. Can't keep it in, and we'll have a boundary throw in. The breeze just wafting across the ground at the present time. Bennett, as he always does, will do the ruck work now.
Some 30 metres around from the scoring zone. Bennett flicks it over the back. A chance for Lyon again. Gets it across to Yates, who goes with a high left foot kick into the square and over the line for the first score of the day. One behind. This should be a pretty tight encounter. An important game for both teams, particularly so for the West Coast Eagles, wanting to open a winning account at home. Lamb kicks across the centre. They've got the chance to go into the forward line now. Dersma solidly met by Lewis. Lovett gets the hand pass out again. It was also to Phoebe, then pushed wide by Johnson towards the boundary line. He's taken over, so too is the football. And another throw in, this time on the outer side.
Just looking at Don Pike, I just wonder how fit he is, because rumour has it he really hasn't recovered from that knock he received in Brisbane from Brad Hardy. An injured neck, apparently.
Lewis and Phoebe chasing. Lewis tries to pull it back. Jackson sees it over the line once more. Just the one behind on the board at the moment. That going to Melbourne. West Coast Eagles through O'Connell, trying to push it into attack. Pike towards the line once more. And we've got a stalemate on that outer side. Crowd has built up, but it's still perhaps a little disappointing, particularly as Coach John Todd in this morning's press here in Perth urged people to get behind the team, because he felt they were about to start a winning streak. Will it be today? Yates at the moment preventing any score. It's between centre wing and half back. Goes with a long kick. Scott comes in from the side and defensively pushes it over the line.
John did say they didn't have to bring a present. It's his birthday today. Boundary thrown on the outer side. I guess that makes him a Taurian. Look up his stars as the day wears on. One down by Steins. Over the ball is Newport, and we'll have a ball up. The bright sunshine at Subiaco Oval. There's our score line. Ruck Bucks go to it. Scott and Steins. Waterman waiting behind. Scrambles a kick around the boundary line. In front Phoebe. Was he pushed in the back? Not according to the umpire. He played it brilliantly. Got it to Yates. Yates towards half forward. Scott goes back with courage. Knocked away by Lyon. Taken by Newport. Sweeping hand pass. Worsfold's in the way. Sends the Eagles towards their half forward line. Lovett and Lewis. Lovett's in front. Hard man to shift off the ball. Brilliantly played. Got it to Hughes. Over the top it comes to Dersma. Confronted by Mainwaring. Forced a hand pass quickly. This is McKenna. Mainwaring's got it. Slips right on the boundary line. Good effort by Lewis. Mainwaring towards half forward. Jackson almost the mark. Swooping on it is Pike. Ran out of bounds. Didn't take the ball out of bounds. Pike under pressure. Gets it away. Steins. Time to recover. High kick towards half forward. Lovett's in front. Glenn Lovett. Pissed it away by Miles. Deft deflection down from Amir. Taken there by Brennan. The high kick towards half forward. Great courage by Hutton and Lovett. The ball fell at their feet. Will have a ball up.
Interesting in that little passage of play and a couple of passages before. Stephen Jackson showing a lot of aggression away from the ball. He and Kavanagh are at it.
Inside 50 for the Eagles. O'Connell front spot, but it's Dersma who comes in from the side to flick it out. Free kick has been picked up. Just as Lovett was off. Chance for John Worsfold to possibly register the Eagles' first score of the day. He'll be kicking from just outside 50 metres. The lead from Jackson is ignored, so he drops back into the square once again. Worsfold's kick is a good long kick, but just off target and one behind. So scores level. Danny Hughes bring the ball back into play. Usually a very good kicker of the football. And that's putting the miles on. Drops short. One Lamb takes the mark just inside. Well, let's see if Lamb can be a little straighter. Drop punt goes into the square. Steins comes over the top and a big fist sees it over the line in the left forward pocket. Steins and O'Connell once again. Mainwaring. Can he get clear? Turns and has a shot. And another behind is registered.
Mainwaring, one of the players the Melbourne team have got to look at. He's a catalyst in this West Coast Eagles side.
A better kick from Hughes. Beautiful kick down towards centre wing. O'Connell unable to take the mark. Stretch pushes it down in front. Almost gets claimed by Worsfold. A good tackle. But he's going to be given a free kick. And the West Coast Eagles fans not impressed.
Stephen Stretch towards centre half forward. Intelligent kick. Pushed it away from Lovett down there by Miles. This is Yates. Half forward Yates. Out to Glenn Lovett. Long kick towards full forward. He'll direct it though, and the mark is taken down there by Guy McKenna. One of the stars of this Eagles side of the last couple of seasons. He's away now. Plays on by hand. A rather awkward one for Dean Turner. Manages to get the kick away towards midfield, and the mark is taken by Phoebe. Shade later. There's the time remaining. Stephen Phoebe back towards half forward. Good mark is taken by Sumich. Leaning off Spalding. Very talented youngster. Starting out. Comes across the ground. Intended for Lamb. Great defense by Eichel to get back and get a fist on the ball. Lovett. Cleverly played to Eichel to a voice. Stretch asked him to do a bit there, and the ball was pushed across the boundary line by Mainwaring.
The Eagles lead by a point. Ball on centre wing. Steins front spot and trying to use the body. No one able to get it out cleanly. At the bottom is Ricky Jackson. So another bounce to take place. Still on the wing. Steins up too early. Scott to put the Eagles into attack. Good looking drop punt kick towards half forward. Battled out the back. Jackson will get the chance to clear. Can't pick it up on the first attempt. As Don Pike was scooting away, Jackson will get the free kick. So Ricky Jackson from half-back, looking towards Grinter. He takes a good mark. He'll be delighted to be back in this team once again. On to Steins. He's a little uncertain as to what to do. Wanted someone going past, didn't have it. McKenna towards the boundary line. Grinter will confront Mainwaring, and together they force that ball over the line. So a throw-in on Melbourne's left half forward flank. West Coast Eagles 2 behinds, and Melbourne just the one. Spalding to Lovett. Good smother by Sumich. Close to the boundary line once again with Stephen Stretch, and we'll see another throw.
Interesting, the West Coast have got Worsfold in the centre with Eishold and Lamb now on the back on the forward flank with Lovett. Whether they're doing a switch or changing ruck rovers there or doing a three-way thing involving those two players.
Boundary throw in. Scott wins it forward, taken by a Stretch, hooks it back across his body, and once more McKenna in the right place at the right time. Squares it, in fact concedes, and Meterich gets it to Lockyer. Goes towards the outer side, and Worsfold from one side of the ground to the other, almost in a straight line. Worsfold comes back towards the middle and finds Waterman. And he's away, wants his left side. Waterman through the middle, goes looking for Jackson. Kavanagh in close attendance. Good strong hands there by the youngster. Man running towards the square. Jackson thought about going long. It was hard. Now 50 metres against Kavanagh. What a good mark that was. Reminiscent of the sort of thing that Jason Dunstall does. One grab and a hard lead with a low flat ball coming in.
That big body has made Kavanagh's job even more difficult. And here it is, Waterman breaking. Now Jackson's led well before Waterman had disposed of the ball. He came in a million miles an hour.
Interesting that Hughes is staying with Hutton up the ground, and they've got one out in the square, Jackson and Kavanagh. Jackson gets the first goal of the match.
So the West Coast Eagles lead by 7 points. 1-2 to Melbourne's 1 behind. We're back in the centre once again with Scott and Steins. From the middle, Worsfold gets a hurried kick down towards the right half forward flank. Chasing is Lamb. Has the chance now. It's beautifully spooned up. Tries to go back in towards half forward. Tackle was too high on Pike to play on the calls. He gets it to Mainwaring. High towards full forward once again. The big pack is there. Over the back. A chance for the Eagles to score another one from David Hart.
Interesting, David Hart being up on that forward line. He played all his good football in the Panasonic series on the wing and went roving. Fire up as well. They moved him back onto the wing when he came back. Now he's roving to back. Interesting move, that.
Danny Hughes again. Down towards the half-back line. Steins plays on to Jackson. A hurried kick under pressure towards Gary Lyon. And a throw in outside.
Could look at the move of putting Hughes onto Jackson and Kavanagh onto Hutton, Melbourne.
Scott, but straight to Jackson. Claim. But he didn't have it, said the umpire. So Ricky Jackson to pick up another free kick.
Here's Jackson on centre wing, hugging the boundary line. Spalding, strong mark. It's a left half forward. Old Spalding, who represented WA on Tuesday, plays on. That aided his cause. Centering kick, good-looking one too. Eishold knocked away though well by Lockyer in the nick of time. Lockyer towards the outer side wing. Beebe and Hart close to the boundary line. Really hard to catch as David Hart pulls it back towards the middle again. Waterman constantly bobbing up in this vicinity. Has taken the mark. Eagles looking good. Wobbly kick down towards Steins over the top. Hutton play on is the call. Hutton knocks it out. Taken by Amir. Confronted by Stretch. Good tackle. Ball jarred free. Eishold across to Hughes. It's all Melbourne in the middle. Hughes a long telling kick. 2-on-1. White should stay down behind. Ball comes forward. Opportunity for Miles. Sweeping hand pass out wide. Mainwaring goes straight across the ground. In fact, he goes backwards. There was no pressure that time on the ball carrier. Worsfold has it. Forward of left half back.
Worsfold goes towards Chris Lewis. Can't mark at the first attempt. Tries to push it wide. Johnson is there for Melbourne. Beaten to it by O'Connell. The pack develops. It's pushed wide towards that outer wing. Over the line. Another throw in. For the West Coast Eagles, through Stephen Jackson, at the moment having the only major on the board. 1-3-9 to Melbourne. One behind. Throw in again. Steins at the second attempt. Jackson tries to knock it down. O'Connell gets underneath the football, couldn't take it. Lewis may get the chance to do some good shepherding work, and then he wants to go on with it. It doesn't matter because Worsfold goes long in towards full forward, straight through for another one to the Eagles.
Good news for the Eagles is they lead by 14 points. The bad news is that breeze is freshening a little down the ground. They're using it at the present time as Steins goes up decisively. Wide of the pack, Yates the high kick. He's taken high. He kicked the ball according to the umpire. So Grinter, no, in fact it's Eichhold who will take the kick downfield. The kick didn't go very far. Eichhold towards half forward. In from the side, Spalding, almost a strong mark. Couldn't quite hang on. Lockyer fumbles, jarred free. Brennan tries to soccer it forward. Jackson put his body in and wins the free kick.
Obviously relishing the first roving position, Jackson, because he has certainly picked up a lot of kicks and got under the pack on that occasion.
This will test him from here. Kick from on the 50-metre line. Fall in short. Big pack into the air. Lover tries to go out of mid-air. Through it goes for a minor score.
2-3 plays two behinds. Todd. What a nice birthday present it would be if we could snatch 4 points today. Sitting in the box seat at the moment, very early days. Ball is on the outer side. They got the chance to run it forward once again. The long kick goes down towards the half-forward line. Danny Hughes will have to come over the top. Pike won't get to it in time. It'll beat him over the line on the outer side. And another throw-in. Ideal conditions for football here in Perth today. Whether you're watching on the Australian television network, I certainly hope that you will enjoy it. Jackson again. Coming into a place Healy, but loses it as he was tackled. And this gives the chance to Hart, who kicks long in towards full forward, but goes across the face and one behind only for side. Two behinds. Hughes again. Ball just sitting a little. Steins and Scott do battle. It's hammered towards the boundary line.
Interesting move. Melbourne making a change off interchange. They're changing their rovers. Beveridge and Jackson off interchange. Anea up the job with tagging both.
Physical as Beveridge came onto the ground too. Beveridge and Anea. Was trying to move up interchange gates. Meantime, Manwaring's got an opportunity at half court. Was he taken high? Not according to the umpire. He comes to Lamb, kicks it out wide, looking for Hart. Phoebe does well from behind. O'Connell puts his body in, slaps it out, taken by Beveridge, and in there on the ground. He gets a hand pass to Johnson. Johnson put down very belatedly there by Pike. That was a delayed reaction. Pike thought, will I? Well, I won't. Yes, I will. Meantime, the relayed free is taken towards half forward. Comes to Scott, high up and under. Camped underneath it. Newport. Oh, he was collected by Worsfold.
Courageous mark by Newport on the defensive side of centre. The Demons still looking for their first. Gary Lyon has it. A long way out. Bennett gives him a lead coming out towards the 40-metre line. Couldn't take it. McKenna pushes wide to Miles, hurriedly onto his left foot. He goes towards that outer half-back flank, and Lyon sees it over the line with Michael Brennan.
It's a big forward line that the Melbourne side have got. They've got White, Bennett, Spalding, Grinter, Lyon. Not much mobility except for Lovett.
Turner claimed. Grinter a chance. Kicks in towards Sean White. So here is the chance for the Demons first. Sean White. Just 15 metres out. Certainly not a difficult angle.
Most accurate kicker, Sean White. 5 goals, 3. 5 goals, 7, I should say, in this round.
He shoots with a drop punt. And Donahue did it.
5 goals, 8.
So Melbourne 3 behind, trailing the West Coast Eagles 2-4. And an opportunity goes begging.
West Coast playing the huddle at centre half back.
Lockyer, members side with a kick, 2-on-1 situation. Waterman, who's playing very well, swings it along the wing. Van Weering's got it. Lewis inside. Great movement of the ball by the Eagles. Lewis has it down towards right half forward. Can continue to go. Lewis takes a shot on goal. Moved it from end to end.
22 plays at 3, favouring the West Coast Eagles as we're back in the centre once again. A great goal to Chris Lewis. Steins tries to take it over the top towards line. Gets a second attempt. Waterman again has been busy. Gets it across to Turner. The Eagles looking to go down towards their half-forward line. Phoebe stands his ground and will be paid the football. The Melbourne youngster on the outer wing here at Subiaco. Goes up to Yates. Melbourne still looking for their first goal of the quarter. To the 50-metre line he goes. Spalding unable to take the mark. Pushed wide by White. Pressure now on the Eagles' defence. Turner gets a short kick. Lewis can't quite pick it up cleanly. Beveridge hurriedly to inside 50. Well, the mark should have been taken but wasn't by Brennan. White gets a high kick. Doesn't travel a lot of distance. Sumic underneath it. Couldn't take the mark. White again. Also there is Lovett. Pulled off the football close to the boundary line. And eventually it's socket over. So a throw in Melbourne's right forward pocket.
Melbourne getting ready to bring Tingay on. Interesting to see who they're going to bring off. Whether they try and get a small man on that forward line.
Margin is 19 points. Scott coming over the top. Eichel a little too slow to get rid of the football. Then solidly met. No one able to take it cleanly. Beveridge caught one, but he did well to get it away. The hurried high kickers by Lovett in towards full forward. Fisted over by McKenna.
And Yates going off, and Tingay obviously going. No, Tingay going down to Waterman, so he is going onto the wing. Tingay.
Boundary throw in the sunshine over the top line. It's a set play to get it back towards the middle, but it comes unstuck as Lewis gets a hand pass out wide. Waterman is killing them. Half back runs towards centre wing, kicks towards half forward. Hutton on the lead, takes the strong mark out in front of Hughes. Hutton kicks into space. Jackson coming up the ground. Phoebe got a hand to it. Jackson slides over. Kavanagh is there. Jackson tries to knock it on. It's out of bounds and will be thrown in. So the young Tyro is working hard down there. Jackson and Kavanagh.
Stretch has also got to tighten up on main wearing on the wing. Grandstand wing.
Boundary throw in. The Eagles with a handy lead. And here they go. There's the time remaining. Hart shovels out a hand pass. Waterman once more. Nonchalantly around. Not a good kick though. Pulls it back towards the middle. Beveridge is there. Beveridge away from half back. Chip pass out wide. Not a particularly good one, but Melbourne have got the numbers. Lyon was held without it. There was no free kick. They work it forward though. Eichel to Newport. Well picked up on the half volley, and he finds Spalding.
Well, Spalding going towards Bennett, who's pushing into the pocket. He marks and will have a difficult shot. Darren Bennett some 30 metres out. The chance for Melbourne's first. At the moment they trail by 19 points. Bennett shoots. And that goes right across the face of the goal and out of bounds on the forward. So still the Demons waiting for their first. West Coast Eagles through Worsfold, Jackson and Lewis. Have 3 on the board. Stretch, Dersma chasing. Jamie Dersma will get there first. It was interfered with, said the umpire. And he will take it, David O'Connell. As Dersma kicks to half forward, no mark taken by Lyon and near. Hurried kick in towards the centre. Pike couldn't take it on the half volley. Johnson gets a quick kick under pressure. Newport first to it across to Phoebe. Back to Tingay. Good football by Melbourne as they go down towards the half forward line. Eichel can't quite get back in time. It beats him over the line in front of the scoreboard here at Subiaco, which says the Eagles have a 3-4-22 on the board. Melbourne 3 behind.
Boundary throw in. Scott at the top. Lyon towards the boundary that time. McKenna brilliantly done to Amia. Right on the boundary line. Slip game this. Both sides executing well. Dersma off hands. Glenn Lovett comes away. Forward at centre wing. Pushed off the kick, but they're breaking down here, Melbourne. Lewis feigns a hand pass. Superbly done. Runs out of defence. Unloads with a prodigious kick towards half forward. Kavanagh's in the road, though. Quick rebound opportunity from Melbourne. Back towards Spalding. Up he goes to take the mark over Mainwaring. Kavanagh cruising past. Still inside the centre square. Chip pass out wide. Scott got a hand to it. Bennett. Great tackle, Bennett. It almost been free to Melbourne. Picked up there by Beveridge. Pulls it back across his body. That looks pretty good. It's a goal.
Oh, the West Coast Eagles lead by 13 points. Jim Steins, a free kick from the centre. The Demons looking for their second. He goes over the head of Gary Lyon. And the mark will be paid to Michael Brent.
Glenn Lovett playing in the centre now for Melbourne on Worsfold.
So from half-back, Brennan kicks back towards the centre once again. Lovett was there, also Newport, Worsfold for the Eagles, pushing it forward. McKenna does well, off to Waterman. Waterman's had a fine first quarter on that outer side. One bounce, then kicking up towards the half-forward line, towards Sean White. White is quite happy to see that ball go over the line. Brent Hutton descending upon him.
How long it'll be before Printers up on the back line and the move Phoebe to the forward line, swapping those two players.
On the 50-metre line for the Eagles. Over the back it comes. Beveridge gets a hurried kick on the siren. Quarter time here at Subiaco, and at the quarter time the West Coast Eagles lead 3-4, 22 for Melbourne, 1-3-9.
Thanks, Bruce. We start the second term. Subiaco Oval. Ground in glorious condition. Hasn't had much football this year. One down by Scott. Taken by Tingay. Well, he fumbled. Now he's got it again. Awkward looking hand pass out wide off the ground by Scott. Winning in the race, Worsfold tries to soccer it around the corner. It comes towards Pike. Robbed of the ball. Well played in defence by Johnson. High kick, a long one too. Back towards the half-forward line. Eichhold at the second attempt. Couldn't take it. Snapped away from him by Lyon. Down towards the pocket. Lockyer. Harris by Bennett. It's out of bounds.
Yates in the forward pocket. Being picked up by Dean Turner. Obviously, he's got to crumb those packs.
So a throw in Melbourne's right forward pocket. 3-4 to 1-3. The Eagles lead. Melbourne a chance here. Scott comes over the top. Beveridge gets a hurried kick under plenty of pressure out of bounds. So McKenna will bring it in from the back pocket. Try to get the West Coast Eagles out of that danger zone. Kicks to half-back. Lewis and Scott over their heads. Mainwaring chasing Lovett. Not quick enough. Dersma does well to get his kick and put Melbourne inside 50 towards line. Can't take it. Turner under pressure. Gets a kick away wide towards the half-back line. And a solid mark taken by Dwayne Lamb. He plays on, putting it out in front of Mainwaring. Couldn't quite hold the mark. Time to get around Stretch and Lovett. Goes back to Chris Lewis. Can the West Coast Eagles build something here? Back to Dwayne Lamb again. He's forward of centre now. Goes onto the left foot. Down towards the half-forward line. Johnson is there. It'll be a free kick down the ground. And Dwayne Lamb quite happy about it.
They are expensive free kicks. It's all right to do that type of thing on your forward line, but you cannot do it and cannot afford to on your back line.
So Jackson kicked one in the first term, directly in front, and will be kicking from just inside 40 metres. Very steady in his approach. Shoots with a drop punt, pulls it, and one behind the whistle. So an excellent chance there for the West Coast Eagles to surge further ahead. Unable to take advantage of it as Danny Hughes. That's the sort of kick we've come to expect from Hughes. Almost down to the centre. A fine grab by Scott.
Will Scott swings it out wide. Mainwaring causing a lot of problems. Takes the mark inside 50. Chris Mainwaring. Side leading by 14 points. He'll take a very good kick from here. kick from just inside the line. There's a very good kick. They contest right on the line. And Hutton touched it across. He completed the mark over the goal line. He was the only man to touch that one. Hit it up. It crossed the line. He grabbed it his second time. So the Eagles shoot themselves in the foot. Hughes, member side with a kick. In from the side. Scott falls behind. Taken brilliantly by Lovett. Off the hands of the pack. He boots it towards half forward. Knocked on intelligently by Yates. Picked up by Lyon from 60 metres out. He pulls it back. What a great kick. That was with intent. And Bennett has taken the mark.
Gary Lyon, he is just a magnificent player. And words fail me when I speak of Gary Lyon. The way that fellow can rove a pack, bring the ball back is terrific.
Bennett against his old team has missed. So two misses. One out of bounds on the full, and that time missing to the right-hand side for a behind. 1-4 to 3-6.
Back to a 14-point margin. Back to Jim Myers. Waiting for the break. Goes down towards Sumic and Scott. Chance for Newport. Under pressure, but gets his kick. Forced wide, another behind. Melbourne battling at the moment to get goals on the board. 3-6 to 1-5. Miles for McKenna. Gets his kick in time down towards centre wing. Hart and Phoebe. Phoebe the victor on this occasion. Wobbling one to Gary Lyon. A short, clever little kick to Eichhold. Threw him out of the corner of his eye. And just popped it to Eichhold, who's in the right forward pocket. Just inside 50, too far for him, but he'll centre it. Good looking kick into the square and hammered defensively over the line for a throw in Melbourne's left forward pocket.
He's got to be one of the best players in the VFL, Gary Lyon. Like all good players, he attracts a crowd. That time 4 Eagles came to him, and as a result, something is created off the ball quite often. One down by Scott, taken by Yates, pulls it back. That's a good effort. That's a great goal.
A 7-point margin favouring the West Coast Eagles here at Subiaco. The second quarter. Back to the middle once again. Steins and Scott, who can take it out of the middle. Beveridge tackle.
Advantage could have been paid on that occasion.
So we'll go back to Luke Beveridge in the middle. He'll put the Demons into attack again. Graham Yates just scoring their last goal. And a badly needed one too. Yates gets the chance again. Can't hold the mark. Pushed down towards Tingay. Onto the left foot he'll go. Kicking it high over the top. Has it got the accuracy? He's kicked it.
It's an impressive youngster, young Tingay.
Interesting in replay, Don, if you watch that. I don't think the West Australian knew that Tingay was a left footer. Watch this. He went the other way initially, and Tingay was able to come around on his left side.
Interesting to note, probably the only player going for the ball too, and only a youngster playing on the wing today. Should have got his opportunity a little earlier in this Melbourne side because he was impressive in the night series.
So it's back to a point now. Melbourne dominated the last 5 minutes or so. Scott and Steins, neither one touched the ball. Scott out of the congestion, well, almost. It was off the ground there by Beveridge. They battle after the ball, mashing his way through Main Waring. Towards half forward with a kick. Johnson was up, missed the mark, back on it quickly, off the ground, gets it out towards the boundary. Brett Lovett leads in the race. Harris pioneer, gets the hand pass away. It's taken by Stretch right on the boundary line, pulls it around, but only as far as Lewis. Lewis forward at right half back is away for the Eagles. As Turley is coming onto the ground and Waterman is coming on. Meantime, McKenna comes across the ground and finds the new man on. That's Turley to Miles. Miles running towards half forward, unloads with a long kick. White is down there battling, and a great mark is taken by Jackson.
He is impressive. He is very, very impressive. The strength he showed on that occasion. Now watch this. It's White. He's also a good body player, but he's just too big.
Here's Jackson then, from about 15 metres out, kicking at his second goal, the Eagles' fourth. And the lead is 7 points. is our scoreline. Interesting. Waterman's off the ground, obviously, I think, for not reading what Tingay was going to do a couple of goals ago. Turley is on, but Waterman, outstanding player in the first term.
From the middle. Dersma trying to go with the punch. Hart unable to pick it up. Still in the centre. And out of that is Big Jim Steins to send Melbourne into attack. Yes, Waterman had a great start to the game. Now pulling his heels as Miles comes over the top. Can't quite hold that ball long enough. That develops, and we'll see another.
Interesting in that occasion, there are 4 West Coast Eagle and 1 Melbourne. That was Bennett. Where were the little Melbourne fellows? Not around.
Just inside 50. Sumich comes over the top. Mainwaring uses soccer tactics, but it goes straight to Stretcher. Gets it onto Jackson. Pulls around his body, looking for and finding Eichel. So Simon Eichel from 45 metres out. Pretty tight angle. Looking for Melbourne's 4th goal, just to make the margin a point. Pulls it a little too far. Good attempt. 3-6 plays at 4-6. One straight kick in it. The West Coasters at the moment leading as Lockyer brings it back into play. Looking for and finding Mainwaring. Can't quite hold it long enough, but he's usually quick to recover. Pushes it back over and it goes straight to Stein. Back to Eichel. Short looking for Yates. Goes over his head. Taken by Worsfold. He was well played. Gets it away to Chris Lewis, however. The Eagles out of trouble. They've got a few runners. Brennan now at half back. Steadies. Then looks towards the centre line. Turley used the body. Got away with it. Couldn't take the football. Pike at the bottom. And he'll be free kick. So Don Pike to put the Eagles into attack.
He's on centre wing. Lewis calling for the square ball. That's the direction it takes. Lewis confronted by Stretch, but gets the hand pass away to Anea. Anea goes out wide with a kick. Well played by the Eagles, and the mark is taken by O'Connell. He turned his back momentarily, and the moment was lost. Jackson was on in the square unattended. O'Connell thinks he can do it. He'll kick from about 40 metres out, and will go close, I fancy. No, he slides it across the face, and White content simply to help it on its way through for a minor score. The skills have been very high here this afternoon. Both sides executing well. 4-7 to 3-6. And Hughes will kick it in. Melbourne getting in trouble when the Eagles kick in after a behind. They'd be better served, I think, hanging off the edges of the packs a little, as Lewis takes a strong mark from the kick in from Hughes. Uses the ball superbly and finds O'Connell. O'Connell goes across the ground. Mainwaring. Brett Lovett is closing. Mainwaring right on the boundary line. Pulls it back. That's ambitious. Snuck it through just for a minor score. He's played well, though, Chris Mainwaring. And the lead is out to 8 points now.
Melbourne could look at also moving Stretch off Mainwaring, maybe switching the rings or getting Phoebe off that half-back line, because he has played on the wing before. Stretch half-back.
Hughes kick out. Spalding came over the top, couldn't take it. Turley couldn't kick the football either. It comes down towards Gary Lyon. If it sits, he could be in business, but can he get clear of Brennan? Lyon kicks long in towards half forward. Lovett getting back, unable to take the mark. Yates soccers off the ground. It may bounce back, and it does.
Could he do it again if he tried? No, he couldn't. But what good play there by young Lovett. That's his second, Graham Yates. And what tremendous play by Lyon also. He's a class player, Gary Lyon. Look at him here, getting away from Brennan. Oh, he's a terrific play. But look at young Lovett here. Good play on Miles, an experienced player, just the fist up. Those things do go unnoticed, and unless you're out there and involved, you only see Yates kicking the goal. But terrific work by Lovett to set it up.
So the Eagles' lead has been cut to just 2 points. 4-8 plays 4-6 in a good game of football here at Subiaco. From the centre, a chance for Turley receiving from Anea. Can the Eagles now offer the quick reply? Lovett is at the back and should get Melbourne out of trouble. Goes for a sweeping hand pass, putting Newport under some pressure because he's surrounded by Eagles. Out it comes to Lamb, onto Hutton. He shoots in towards goal, and as one behind to his credit.
It was a shocking hand pass by Lovett.
Newport under plenty of pressure.
It's all right to attack, but the old adage is go to the boundary line when you're unsure. He brought it back into the centre, and there are a host of Eagles.
The best and fairest winner in '85. Danny Hughes kicks in towards the outer side. Steins, who's drifted out of the game, was up, couldn't take the mark. It falls to Lewis behind. Too nimble for Steins. Breaks away, back into the forward line with a kick, and the mark is taken by Lamb. As you'd expect this game, last week Melbourne won kicking 12 goals. The Eagles lost kicking 13. Neither of them kicked big scores. Hughes is in front. That was a strong mark. A very strong mark. They play on to Melbourne. Jackson around the boundary line. High kick. Having said that about the low scoring, it could be set for a tight finish as Lyon tries to get it out to Spalding. It comes back to him, the most dangerous forward on the ground. Steins cleverly, the Gaelic football there, got it across to Eichel. They have switched wings as Don predicted. Stretch gives away a free kick though, now on Turley.
And Grinter warming up on the boundary line, about to come on.
Turley to Miles on to Lockyer. The Eagles out of trouble. Poor kick, however. Johnson is there for Melbourne. Past Bennett it goes. Lockyer again to Turley. Bennett comes over the top and just misses. Lockyer does well to try and push the ball through the pack. Lovett soccers it off the ground towards Eichel. He's there with Turner. Out it comes towards Hart and McKenna. It's the latter who takes it. And straight through goes McKenna. 2 bounces. He's almost to the centre of the ground. Well played as he goes up towards the half-forward line. No mark taken. Hughes is at the back. So too Sean White under plenty of pressure. Beautifully stolen by Jackson. Jackson gets it away. Here's a chance for Lamb. Goes in towards full forward but pushes it right across the face again. And another opportunity goes begging.
Exciting player Stephen Jackson, no question about that.
4-10 plays 4-6. Grinter about to come out onto the ground once again as Lovett kicks in towards Tingay. Newport soccers off the ground wide towards the outer boundary line, and McKenna sees it over.
And the West Coast also making a change. Hutton, I think it is, coming off. And Todd Bremen, full forward from this ground. Subiaco, come on.
Wayne Waring, who's been a star, there's the time remaining, gets it away to Lamb. Across the ground he comes. It's taken by Worsfold. Now Bremen straight on the ground is a loose man, almost like a relay race. Lovett came off. This is Turley. It's all happened because of that interchange. They've got the extra man. Jackson pulls it back across his body and hits the post. Well, they had interchange players coming off. Melbourne dropped the baton. Grinter gave his man Bremen a start of about 30 metres and couldn't catch him in the race up to half forward.
And obviously Lovett coming off for that bad hand pass. And Grinter going to the half-back flank.
Hughes kicks in. Dersma from behind. White leads in the race. Plenty of composure there. Lays it off to Stretch, former best and fairest winner at Melbourne. The former South Australian pumps it into the forward line. Clears Lockyer and Bennett. Lockyer's winning this duel at the present time between the buddies. Gets it out to Sumic. He's at centre half back.
Sumic going across the centre wing area. Eichel has to spoil from behind, doing good work on Dwayne Lamb. Pushed wide. Turner is there under plenty of pressure. Lamb again will get away with it. On to Mainwaring. Now the Eagles a chance to go forward. Mainwaring on the outer side. One bounce. Then short up towards the half-forward line. Out comes Jackson. He takes the mark. He's got nothing in the square, so he can let one fly. Goes long in towards full forward, and a sensational mark taken by Amir. What a grab.
I doubt that mark, and I'd like to see that on replay because I believe that was a free kick. Now he took the mark. Now watch this, Amir running in. Now if he doesn't cannon into Johnson before the ball is there, I'll go he.
Count to 100.
You have to go he because he's got the kick. And this to make the margin 11 points. Anir shoots and Anir goals.
11 points the difference. 5-11, 4-6. Newport away from the centre towards half forward. They're going goal for goal. Miles does well, gets it down to accommodate Brennan, who swings it out wide. Worsfold takes the mark. John Worsfold, no real pressure on him, breaks away, kicks in towards centre half forward. Bremen's out in front. Steins with a lot of courage, almost the mark. Falls to White. Steins hurt himself there. Keep an eye on him. He's limping behind play. Meantime, Worsfold has got it. Confronted by Spalding, gets around him. Worsfold's kick, an interesting one, across towards O'Connell, who kept his eye on the ball and took a strong mark. Tingay was hanging off him. O'Connell doesn't quite get that one as he would have liked. It goes across the ground, knocked on by Lewis. Opportunity for a Nia. Still it's a Nia. Forward of centre wing. Pulls it down towards the pocket. Johnson surrounded down there. Pike, uncontested, takes the mark. Testing time this for Melbourne now. Pike from 40 metres out. Long kick. Just misses. Minor score to the right.
Well, the inaccuracy of the Eagles keeping Melbourne in the game. 17 shots to 10.
5-12. Playing 4-6. Hughes again. Spalding over the top. Lewis used the body and did not use it correctly, according to the umpire. Tingay from half back to get Melbourne out of the danger zone. Yates from behind has to spoil. Newport waiting down in front. This looks opportunist for Melbourne. At the back is Bennett. How can he recover? The big man moves quickly, but has the ball taken from him, and Lockyer sees it over the line defensively for one behind.
Gary Lyon has now got the job on Stephen Jackson, so Melbourne robbing their forward line of a good player to put on a very good player for the Eagles.
David O'Connell and Big Jim Steins still not moving too freely at the moment. Be interesting to see if he can stay out on the ground, because Melbourne relying so heavily on their #1 big man with O'Dwyer out. Sumich over the centre. At the back was Johnson. Jackson gets it away beautifully to Hart. Hart spearing a pass in towards half forward. Clever tap on, goes down towards the pocket area and eventually socket over the line. Or will Hughes keep it in? No, he will not. And Todd Bremen doing the right thing, trying to push the ball further on. But we will have a throw in on the outer side in front of the scoreboard, which shows the Eagles leading by 11 points. Steins, Grinter towards the half back line. O'Connell sockers off the ground, but the whistle had sounded. And it will be Tingay to take the free kick once again on that half-back flank.
O'Connell on the ball, releasing Scott and Jackson to alternate between the full forward position and centre half forward position.
Jimmy Steins is having a tough afternoon. Cut a roundhouse right there, that boundary throw-in intended for the ball, but it hit him flush in the face. So he's being worked over at the present time, and he is going to get a free kick up towards centre wing. The Eagles are playing good footy as he goes in short and finds Miles. Alongside the centre circle, they stay off him, so he plays on into the path of Bremen, who is quick. He's taken this mark about 40 metres out from goal. If there's one thing he can do is kick it a long way. Todd Bremen. This will be no trouble at all distance-wise. He's got the goal.
The Eagles now lead by 17 points, and they've got the chance to go into attack again through a near down towards the half-forward line. Phoebe can't take it away. Hart gets the hand pass out, putting Worsfold under plenty of pressure. The ball comes out the back door. Grinter puts his body over it. Bremen is there also for the West Coast Eagles. It is held, said the umpire, and he'll take it for a bounce.
Good play by Grinter to hold the ball up. But there's a couple of leaks starting to show in this ship, the Melbourne ship. A couple of players just haven't got the initiative they had earlier.
Steins wins the tap. Turner, a hurried left foot kick, and the diving mark is taken by Alan Johnson. Just under 6 minutes of this second term remaining, and Melbourne under pressure. Wide to Phoebe. To centre wing he goes, looking for Spalding. With him is Sumich. At the back, Sean White shrugs the tackle of Turner, then goes with the left foot in towards half forward. Yates is there unattended. Got Tingay going past, doesn't want him. He's got Bennett down at full forward. He's got to drop back into the square now. Also Lockyer going there as well, just gets a hand to it and over the line for one behind. So the challenge is there for the Demons. 16 points in arrears at the moment.
Again, the huddle being played by the West Coast.
Lockyer looking for a near. This could be dangerous because Sean White can kick long in towards full forward. Lockyer gets a hand to it once again and another behind. 4 goals, 9 Melbourne. West Coast Eagles 6-12 in perfect conditions. This time he comes to the grandstand side and finds Chris Mainwaring. Dodges beautifully to get out of trouble. His kick is relatively poor, putting pressure on Jackson. Oh, the big man does well. His hand pass is intercepted. Gary Lyon close to the boundary line. Jackson again almost gave it to Newport. So throw in on centre wing. Jackson and Stynes. Newport waiting down in front. Mainwaring soccers it clear into the centre. Jeff Miles is waiting there. Accelerates. Kicks in towards half forward, looking for Bevan. At the back, here's a chance for Anir. This time he shoots low in towards goal. And has kicked it.
And mistake by Steve Newport on centre wing. Resulting in a goal for the Eagles. That's a very handy lead now. 7-12-4-9. Stynes wins it down. Eichel stops the ball. And he's in trouble. Flicks it out between his legs. Mainwaring, who's been a star, into the forward line once more. Awkward bounce. Scott an opportunity. Pike running outside. Pike's got the ball in the pocket. Question of accuracy from 25 metres.
So they're playing behind Melbourne on their full back line. Being led to the ball. And there are gaping holes.
7-13-4-9. Eagles growing in confidence. You can sense it now. They're starting to run.
And they're direct, Dennis.
Yep, on this ground, they're hard to run with. Hughes going down the middle. What a massive kick. They contest in the centre square. Stynes, like a hand pass, he got it across to Grinner with a kick. This is Phoebe. Melbourne desperately need a late goal. Beveridge will provide it. No, fisted away. It's going to be a Beveridge free down there.
I agree with the umpire on that occasion. Turner just lost sight of the ball. Beveridge, the only one who kept his eye on the ball. Watch it here. Turner caught out of position there. There was the hand over the shoulder just before he punched the ball.
No doubt about that. So Beveridge a chance to get a goal from about 30 metres out directly in front. He's been handy today. A lot of pressure on this kick. He steers it through. Much needed goal.
Luke Beveridge's second goal. Follow number 48. Started on his change. He was busy. Picked up kicks when he did come on, especially up in that back line. It's good to see. And there's a little bit better forward setup Melbourne have got now with those smaller fellows. Bennett playing up the ground and White starting in the forward or in the goal square. Interesting move.
So we're back to a margin of 16 points. 7-13 plays 5-9. As the second quarter winds down. From the centre, Newport again trying to get clear, but can't do so. Hart applies a good tackle.
Jeff Miles, a loose man in the Eagles' back line. Just trying to pick up the Melbourne fellow. Obviously, he's loose somewhere further up the ground.
Still virtually in the centre. O'Connell jostling for front spot. And got it, and got the free kick. To put the Eagles into attack, but it's a poor kick. Stretch can't mark, but will be first to it. Recovers well, Stephen Stretch. Kicks it back towards the wing. Taken by Sumic. A high ball in towards half forward. There wasn't a collision there. Johnson loses it to Stynes. Again, he tries that little short kick. Love it. Gets it out to Jackson. Ricky Jackson short to Yates. And Melbourne going forward slowly. Now, Sean White out on a long lead, and he marks just inside 50.
He was trying, wasn't he?
Had the one idea.
Sean White.
Brennan noted for his long arms.
Melbourne needs a goal. It's a great kick by Sean White.
55-45. Late goals helping Melbourne's cause. They've got the last two. Can they muster another one? They come forward yet again. Yates, deft little push. The umpire didn't see it. Kenner pushed under the ball. Now Yates will kick from about 55 metres out. He's normally a good kick. Stretch cleverly. Tries to drag his marker Turley across the mark. Turley had none of that. Yates, a long bomb. just misses to the right-hand side. Now, here is where they've got to tighten up. It's almost half-time. They need a goal. They can't let the West Coast Eagles bring it out too easily. They've done it every time, the Eagles, and this is no exception. Lewis has got it in the back pocket.
Chris Lewis towards centre wing. We've got a margin of 10 points in this game at the moment. Lovett swings it back in towards half forward. Taken by Beveridge. Plays on quickly to Jim Steins, who appears to have recovered after some heavy work. I think Subiaco was trying to knock that down, and he suddenly discovered that he had the ball on his chest. A left footer to Miles at half back. Plays on and gets claimed. This could be expensive. Bennett lines up, shoots in towards goal, but as he pulled it too far, it's going to be close. I think it's home. It is.
What a remarkable kick there by Darren Bennett. And what also a good tackle. Must compliment the tackle first of all from Eyeshoal. But the way Bennett, he's an amazing footballer. Now watch this. Here's a good tackle here. Miles tries to get around. What a tackle. Cut off. Now he holds the ball right across his body from 45 metres out. A very, very good kick because he had time to really straighten up and make sure of it.
Well, in the space of about 5 minutes, the West Coast Eagles have seen a 22-point lead cut to just 3 points. 7-13 plays 7-10 in a thriller here at Subiaco. Centre bounce once again. Steins a little late to get up on that occasion. Turley will get the chance to half forward. Lewis in strongly. Lyon has given away the free kick. The advantage will be paid. Turner goes in towards half forward, but there it is. The mark has been taken by David O'Connell. Too late.
Too good, Sandy.
Gary Lyon there with Rod Grinter. Certainly not too well. So it's half-time here at Subiaco in a thriller. The West Coast Eagles lead 7-13, 55. Melbourne 7-10, 52.
That was a fearless tackle by Gary Lyon that brought him undone. He thought Lewis had the ball. Lewis went through the ball and tried to crash into him. Lyon had no alternative but to hang on. Jackson, who started okay but drifted out of the game. Get the impression it's going to be a big second half because Melbourne found some resources there close to half-time and came storming back to kick the last 3 goals at the quarter dot.
Well, it really wasn't a true indication. These scores are not a real true indication of the game because the West Coast have definitely played better football. Some lucky goals have come up as far as Melbourne are concerned, and when you look at the scoreboard, 20 shots to 17.
Okay, well, let's just repeat those half-time scores for you here at Subiaco. The West Coast Eagles 7-13, 55. And the umpires getting the rounds of the table as we leave you for a moment. Melbourne 7-10, 52.
Okay. Set for the second half. The breeze is still blowing from left to right as we see it, which is a little surprising. Probably that sea breeze will be in, but later. Start of the third term, the Eagles lead by 3 points. Melbourne got the last 3 goals of the second quarter. Brought them back into contention. Here's Steins trying to push it through the pack after Scott knocked it down. Worsfold off the ground out wide. Hart coming up the ground, picks it up superbly. Pulls it back. Not a particularly good kick. It hung in the air a long time. Ball runs free behind the players who flew. Johnson off the ground. He's outnumbered 3-on-1. It's going to be tough to win it from here. Pike tries to knock it out to Lewis. Lyon did very well. Weight of numbers tells the story, though. Pike dragged down the good tackle. Well done by Lyon. He came back to fight again. Lovett gave it across to Jackson. Jackson gets it away as the mark is taken by McKenna. McKenna feeds Brennan. Brennan on centre wing goes for the short pass to Lamb and finds it. Lamb too far out to score. Not a good kick. Almost gave it away. Well, eventually did. Phoebe knocked it down to Grinter, who goes out wide to Stretch.
Stephen Stretch on the half-back flank has a look up further field. Sees Earl Spalding and Peter Sumich. Spalding looking for the free kick. Was he held? The advantage is paid. Spalding plays on, sending Melbourne into attack. Inside 50 now, but his kick is a poor one. And McKenna drops back to take the mark. Goes to Miles at half-back. Looking to play on with Lockyer running past. Steadies in towards centre wing, and here drops what he should have taken. He had a good first half. Chris Lewis comes in to lend support. Yates is there for Melbourne at the bottom of the pack. Lewis it is who taps it clear. Socket off the ground towards Pike. In front of him, however, is Gary Lyon. Lyon now, is this the chance for the Demons? Eichhold marks just outside 50. Centres the football in towards half forward. No mark taken. Pushed wide. And again it will be the Eagles out of trouble through Turner. Across to Anir. John Anir from the centre, sending the Eagles down towards half forward. Lovett, a good mark.
Lovett and Brennan both seem to be playing a loose man in respective back lines.
Was a top mark by Lovett. He's hurt. He plays on to Grinter. He goes for a long kick, not a particularly good one, and Scott takes the mark. So the game, a very good one in the first half, starting rather sluggishly after half-time. Lewis takes the hand pass, goes towards half-court, and Bremen. Now Bremen with a lot of open space downfield. Jackson thinking about leading into it. Bremen going for distance. Hoists it high, not a good kick. That's the worst possible situation for that ball. I venture to say it's out of bounds on the full in the pocket. Now Jackson claiming the mark, but the goal umpire, I thought, indicated. Yes, he did.
The goal umpire indicated the fist out. Doesn't that mean over the line?
Don't get excited. Yeah. It's okay, Don. Bersmer's got the ball. Bersmer on the members' side. Some decision down there, but it's all sorted out. Lamb the hand pass to Lewis. Goes the defensive side, a right half back, pulls it back across his body. Oh, boy, marked by Jackson. He was surrounded there, and the youngster, who really is becoming a local sensation, just plucked that one out of the air.
I don't know whether he held it long enough here. Didn't control it down to ground, but definitely had strong hands there for a while, just for that instant.
Remarkable young player, this man. We'll go close from here. Stephen Jackson, a chance to kick the first goal. The second half. Drop punt is on its way. Starts right, stays right. -4.
The margin out to 4 points now. 56 plays at 52. 7:14 to 7:10. Hughes to bring it back into play for Melbourne. Goes straight down the middle. Steins and Scott. Lewis over the top. Didn't quite get up high enough. Newport out in front of Stephen Stretch. Can he get clear? He is, and he'll have a couple of bounces. He can push Melbourne deep into attack. White is up at full forward. That's the player he's looking for. Into full forward now, but coming across and taking a fine mark is John Anir. Plays on. He's got Mainwaring wide, who can run it round the members' boundary line. One bounce to Mainwaring. Steadies, pushes it in towards centre wing, and finds O'Connell. Another little chip. Only gathered 25 metres, but it finds Jeff Miles, who goes longer this time. Bremen came out, couldn't take the mark. Hughes goes over the top to Lovett, who appears to have recovered. His hand pass is not effective, however. Worsfold intercepts. Wide out to Waterman. A chance at 55 metres if he can get clear, but he can't. Chips over the top towards Turner. Johnson is there to apply the pressure. So too Phoebe, and it's Phoebe who gets in the stretch and pushes Melbourne out of trouble. One bounce on the outer side from Stephen Stretch. Over the centre he goes, looking for Spalding. Having a great struggle with Sumich today, and the umpire will come in and have a bounce on that outer side. Crowd enjoying this game. One stage the Eagles broke clear to a 22-point lead. And back came Melbourne. At the moment it is just a 4-point lead to the Eagles. Scott farms it down. Worsfold is clear. The Eagles looking to go deep into attack once again. Bremen takes it on the cross.
He's just too quick for Danny Hughes. They started shoulder to shoulder, and he was 2 yards in front of Hughes when he took that mark.
Todd Bremen directly in front. Good kicker of a football. And from just outside 50, it's a long kick, drifting to the right a little. 1 point out. So Todd Bremen still only has the 1 goal to his name as Dersman brings it back into play, taken by White on to Jackson. Melbourne out of trouble.
Jackson on the outer side wing. Hands on the full. It's a wayward kick. 5 points the margin. The Eagles with the ball. This is Peter Sumich on the outer side. Back towards half forward goes the kick. O'Connell's in front. Phoebe over the top, fisting away. Hart, was he held without it? Can't control it. This ball's out of bounds. will be throwing it.
Dean Turner coming off the ground, being replaced by Craig Turley. From the near, instantly going to the back pocket.
Steins and O'Connell. Stretch thought about coming over the top. It falls to Johnson, gets the hurried kick away. Which way will it bounce? Brilliantly gathered by Scott. Pulled off the kick. The Eagles have got the numbers. Oh, well read by Grinter. The hand pass too hard from Lamb to Lewis. Ricocheted to Grinter. Amia stifled the bounce well. Flicks it out to accommodate Lewis. He does nicely too. Chris Lewis breaking away. Spears the pass into Waterman, who started superbly. Was taken off the ground in the second turn. Chris Waterman kicks the ball intended for Jackson. Hughes comes over the top, fisting away. Worsfold has got it on the 50-metre line, surrounded by Melbourne players, pulls it back towards the kickoff line. Dersma in from the side, finds the ball, he punched away, draws a man, finds Stretch. Nothing down ground for him at all. It's all Eagles.
A nest of them there, and it's taken by Lewis, who's had a pretty good day, Chris Lewis. Comes right across the ground and finds Craig Turley. Turley kicks in towards the forward line. Bremen marks.
I said earlier, too quick again. Todd Bremen comes to a race with Danny Hughes.
The last two kicks have really bowed away towards the right. Let's watch how he drops this ball.
There's one to his credit at the moment, Todd Bremen. That too. Wavering off to the right. They're doing it in singles at the moment. 7 goals, 16, 7-10.
They really should be well in front of the West Coast. They've just squandered a lot of opportunities close to goal.
Hughes to Lovett. It's around Hart and looks towards Grinter, almost down at centre wing.
Here's Grinter. Kicks into Lamb. It's a second opportunity. Needed to be centimetre perfect and wasn't. It's gone out of bounds on the full. So Pike gets the kick and the ground look. Let's see what Pike will do now. The Eagles keeping it in attack for a long period. He centers it. Steins uncontested, takes the mark. Stretch is running for him to the outer side. That's the direction the kick takes. 3-on-1 out there. Lewis, good chase. Stretch has to kick it down towards half forward. Goes the kick. Bennett got a hand to it, knocked it down. Picked up by Johnson well down the ground. He goes towards the pocket. White can't get there in time. It bounces out of bounds. Quick transference of play. Will be thrown in. So we look at the Eagles bench. Turner in the foreground. Behind him Hutton. And the tragedy would be for the Eagles if Melbourne take it down the once and get a quick goal. Rucks go to it. Scott fisting it wide. Mainwaring's got it now. Tackle by Tingay. Almost threw it out. Brennan, with the time remaining showing there on the left-hand side, tracks it out of bounds.
The Eagles have scored just 3 behinds this quarter to date. Melbourne have yet to score at all. Do have the chance here, although Scott takes it away with a high kick going close to the boundary line. Mainwaring stood his ground. Gutsy.
Sean White going to the back line for Melbourne. Danny Hughes being moved up forward.
White gets it away. This looks dangerous again as Dwayne Lamb gets his kick up towards the half-forward line. Johnson couldn't quite take it on the half volley. Does the shepherding work now for Hughes, who puts a handball out in the back. Steins has to move quickly. He does. On to Newport. Chasing his Worsfold. Gets his kick just in time. It goes wide to the outer side. And Tingay takes them. Stephen Tingay plays on. Looking for Spalding. Can't mark. Brennan can't get it away cleanly. Lewis goes in strongly with the body and then pushes the ball out. Beveridge over the top. And Sumic high kick. Will be marked by Stretch almost in the crowd. So Stephen Stretch will move back into play. And Blackwood still looking a little concerned. Inside 50 it goes, but taken by Lockyer. So at the moment.
Sorry, Sandy. Just looking at Stephen Newport, he doesn't look too good. He seems to be hanging his right shoulder or right arm.
Miles to Lamb. Onto Anir. Shrugs the tackle of Stretch. In towards full forward. Stretch up with the one, right up with the one hand. Jackson would have almost got a free kick. It wasn't paid. Comes back to Pike. He's got pace to get round. Goes on to the left foot. Shoots in towards full forward. Hart is there. Can't pick it up. Can't get away. And the umpire will come in with a bounce.
effort by Turley there into the contest for the Eagles.
Great chance for the West Coast Eagles to increase this 6-point lead they have at the moment. Johnson sees it over the line with Hart. 58 plays 52. Steins and O'Connor. Lyon at the back. It's a quick kick. Waterman can't quite hold the ball long enough. Eichel gets it away nicely. And Stretch once again. He loves to go for a run. This is no exception. Over the centre he goes. But what's he got to kick to? Lockyer comes out. Scott is also there for the Eagles. And it is the latter who will clear. Gets his kick just in time. Was a little slow in doing so. It goes over the centre and a fine mark taken by Michael Brennan.
He plays on quickly. High kick. They'll contest about 30 metres out. Jackson almost the mark. Pike in trouble forward of the pack. Grinter only as far as Bremen. Snapshot from Bremen. This is to the near side.
It was well swooped on by Bremen on that occasion. Grinter just didn't quite contact the ball. Should have hit it a little harder to the boundary. Tom Kavanagh coming on for Melbourne. Make another change.
Alan Johnson kicks in. Members side. In front Steins. Twisted towards the boundary line and will be thrown. 7:17 to 7:10. Approaching the halfway mark in this turn. Bright sunny day. It's not a lap hot. Temperature just under 20 degrees. O'Connell, clean possession. Taken high according to the umpire. O'Connell will take this kick in the shadows of the grandstand. Centering boot. Jackson from behind, but quite in front. Piece of a body by Dersman to kick Jackson out that time. Beveridge just on the ground, boots it back towards centre wing. Yates missed the ball behind. McKenna was tripped short and he'll get the free kick.
McKenna on centre wing. Going short. Turley. Longer in towards full forward. Bremen buffeted it out. And once again, Sean White takes a strong mark. Gives it across to Alan Johnson. Will run it out of the back pocket. Couple of bounces. Tries to draw the player and it could be dangerous. Stretch almost claimed by Lewis, but he shrugs the tackle. Stephen Stretch, a couple of bounces. Almost down to the centre. Runs his full distance. Now Melbourne to go into the attacking zone. Waiting down is Yates in front. He can go for goal here, Graham Yates. Goes over the top, but Lockyer backs back and takes a fine mark. And Melbourne doing it hard down in that attacking zone. Miles marks again, gives it across to Anir. Anir longer to Scott. Phil Scott now, almost down to centre wing. Gets his kick just in time, but Steins is getting underneath the ball. Coming over the top was Hart. Couldn't complete the mark. Pike farms it out. Now a chance for Main Waring. Steadies. Has a look at his options. This goes down to the half-forward line where he's picked out Turley. From 53 metres he goes goalwards. And once again that ball drifting away to the right. And yet another behind goes on the board. Look at that, 7-18. 60. Melbourne a 7-10-52.
Short one comes into Lyon. On the defensive side of half-back goes with a short pass. Steins was there. Opportunity though for Lewis, who gave a good contest. It comes across to Waterman, who finds Hart. Well, that was ambitious by Melbourne. Difficult for Jim Steins. That ball hung in the air a long time. Lewis able to get across, and that was the end result of it. So David Hart should get the distance from here. Kick just inside 50. Normally a very accurate kick. He's missed to the right-hand side. Well, if they lose this game, the Eagles, nobody to blame but themselves. 7-19 to 7-10. They're dominating at the present time, but they simply can't put Melbourne away. As we said earlier today, if Melbourne hang in a game long enough, they're probably the most dangerous team in the VFL to beat. Steins gets a free kick.
Yes, they've won the tight ones, Melbourne. Made a habit of it in recent times. Steins to Stretch on centre wing. The Demons have not scored in this quarter and they need something badly. They've got Danny Hughes down on the left half forward flank. Well, he plays on. And a good pass finding Bennett, who will kick just on 50 metres but almost directly in front. Has 1 goal to his credit. Kicked that in the second quarter. And this to close the gap. At the moment it's 9 points. Bennett's flat-looking punt kick is going to drop short. And eventually goes over the line for 1 behind. So 7-11. Plays 7-19. Subiaco to McKenna on the outer side. 1 bounce and he's away to Lockyer onto Mainwaring. It could be dangerous. Mainwaring, however, gets clear, does well. Comes across the ground, looking for Turley. With him is Lover. Also there, Newport. And it's the Melbourne boys who combine well. Newport's kick up towards the half-forward line. Oh, Highshold was off. Plays on now with a hand pass to Beveridge. Slips the tackle. Back to Highshold. Kicks in towards the half-forward line. Jackson doesn't complete the mark. Lewis comes over the top to effect the tackle. And the umpire will have to come in and take charge. Doing it hard, Doc.
My word, Sam, I'm just wondering what moves they can do. I don't think there really is anything. It's just going to be a real dour struggle. Now Newport picking up Worsfold in the centre of the ground as well.
Here's the bounce then, just outside 50. Melbourne's way, taken by Spalding. The high kick. Bennett and Lockyer jostling down there. Bennett, no free kick. Lockyer paid the mark. Can't believe it. Away comes Miles meantime, out of the back pocket. Long towards the centre of the ground. Worsfold's in front. Newport has been close to him all day. Johnson appeared to throw the ball. Highshold goes down. Highshold's going to get a free kick. Highshold forward at centre. Breaking down hopelessly up forward. There's Long again. Over the top. Spalding. Great mark.
He really has improved his game, Earl Spalding. I watched him today earlier. If he can't get the ball or he's in a position where he can't mark, he really does make it difficult for his opponent. On that occasion, he read the ball just a little bit better. And the players should realise what Spalding's on about because they're just not reaping the benefit of his work.
Not the most accurate kick in the team. Well, it was a late goal in the elimination final. It sunk the Eagles. This one's good. Well, Melbourne right back in it.
Melbourne have kicked 1 goal for the quarter. The West Coast Eagles have done just about all the attacking and they've managed just 6 points. Eichhold sending the Demons into attack once again, down towards Yates on the half-forward line. Beaten, however, by McKenna, who shrugs the tackle. Can the Eagles answer the challenge? McKenna does well, kicking in towards Bremen. Pushed and will be free kicked.
Melbourne made a change. Newport going off. Kevin are on.
Bremen wasting no time, goes with a long high drop punt, drifting into the square and coming back, touched off hands. And the 7th behind for the quarter goes on. 7:20. 8-11.
Wayne Lamb for the West Coast, back pocket, Luke Beveridge his opponent.
Johnson kicks to the pack on the outer side. O'Connell comes over the top with a fist and Phoebe sees it over the line. That Demon's looking happy or not at the moment. It's pretty tight, however. 3 points in it. So we're going to be in for a good struggle in this final quarter. And here, Lewis has had a good day. Lewis heads towards goal. What a kick, what a goal!
Well, he's starting to develop as a footballer, Chris Lewis. He's been criticised in the past for his aggression, but he is really working on that side of his game, the tackling side. Sometimes he's a little bit indiscreet in the way that he does it. And he was one of those lads that probably they gave him great raps when he first started, tremendous potential and probably not living up to it. Now starting to learn what football's all about. His 2nd goal for the game. That has been a very handy player.
Well, closing stages of the 3rd term. Melbourne will finish with what breeze there is. The Eagles in danger of kicking John Todd's age. They're behind. 8:20 they've got. They've got the lead again. It's out to 9 points. There's going to be a Melbourne free. It's going to Ricky Jackson. Don't see a lot of him today. Squares the ball. It's taken by Lyon. Then they get past half forward this time. Long kick. Down towards full forward. Hughes is down there. Spalding in from the side. But again, fleet of foot on the ground. The Eagles bring it away. Hart back towards midfield. Grinter is up, and that's a strong mark. Lewis was bearing down on him. Grinter, defensive side of the centre circle. Plays on. Back it comes again. This time O'Connell should take the mark uncontested. O'Connell sees Worsfold towards the outer side. He takes the mark. Jackson arriving late, just brushed aside. Worsfold pumps the ball towards centre half forward. Dersma behind, but it's fisted forward by Lyon. Opportunity for Turley, surrounded by Melbourne players. Lamb does nicely through the traffic, gets it out right, taken by Brennan. Brennan unloads with a long kick. Going back down there is Scott. Oh, what a great mark, Dersma. What an outstanding mark.
Great play by Jamie Dersma. Gets it across to Johnson. Johnson goes wide into Lovett. He'll have time to recover and give it a stretch. A crucial 4.5 minutes now in this quarter for both sides. Spalding can't take it. Flicked out the back door. And the umpire said, no, it's not on.
One of these Melbourne players not playing with confidence. Also those forwards. The Melbourne forwards are allowing the West Coast Eagle backmen to run away far too easily. A lot of fellows just walking as the West Coast run off them.
Well, Jeff Miles had a look and said, what have I got to kick to? Absolutely nothing. So he comes sideways to Brennan. He goes longer and more direct, but Turley's going to have to beat 4 of them. Phoebe gives it across to Lovett. Melbourne out of strife once again. Jackson from behind thumps it down for Yates. Just gets his kick, but it only travelled 10 metres straight onto the chest of Anir. Lewis has the chance again on the outer side. Play on is the call. Chris Lewis goes back to Anir. He'll get claim. He's looking towards Lamb, who's flat-footed at the time. Flicked out to Hart. It's hardly effective football at the moment. There's plenty of pressure on it. It's very tight. That's a poor kick by Worsfold. Drops short. Gary Lyon takes the mark. Lyon looking towards Tingay. The youngster can't quite take it. Worsfold, the chance to flick it on. It does so now. Here's Mainwaring. Eludes one, gets caught the second occasion, but does get his kick away. Goes out of bounds some 55 metres out from the West Coast Eagles scoring zone.
Yates now moved up to the back line for Melbourne. Johnson going down forward.
Run in. Final time in the context of this game now. Tingay scrambles a kick forward. Relayed kick. According to the umpire, it will come back. No. He's saying it's relayed, yes. And will be taken by Hughes on centre wing.
Michael Brennan still a loose man on that half-back line for the West Coast. Also McKenna now. Melbourne got too many players up the ground and not enough back.
Has come back to Tingay, so he was in the act of kicking but was taken unfairly. Steins marks with a relayed free kick would have been taken. So things are as they should be. Jim Steins from centre wing. Can Melbourne get a late goal? Near valiant attempt to mark. Picked up by Spalding. A runner outside. That's Jackson. He's got the pace to run away from Sumich. Jackson, a question of accuracy. It looks good. Just misses to the near side.
Well set up again by Earl Spalding. He dummied that. Gave the impression he was going right. Last moment, flicked it over to Jackson.
8 points the margin. Lockyer to Waterman. Long and high down towards the half-forward line. Yates applies a good tackle. Here's a chance now for Bremen. Oh, he was pushed into the ball by Sean White, who keeps on going. Loses it now to Grinder, who solidly met. The whistle has sounded. And Jackson, not impressed, is almost chesting the umpire. And he's still going, young Jackson. However, we'll go back to the play. He doesn't want to upset himself. Ball's coming his direction now. It's fisted down. Hart's waiting in front. A quick look and a kick up towards Scott, who gets a bad bounce. Pike gets a good one. Shoots towards goal and pops through another one.
Well, I suppose you wonder why that did happen. Scott came out and met the ball. Jamie Dersma waiting for the bounce. The bounce just did not come. Here it is on replay. The high ball. Now watch Scott now. Dersma hesitated, not in front, but set it up for Pike. Back in the centre of the ground, Stephen Jackson having words with the umpire. Crowd really becoming involved in this game.
Wants to be very careful, Jackson. He was remonstrating with the umpire then too, urged on by the crowd who were giving the umpire the rounds of the kitchen, but there's no future in that. 9:20 to 8:12. Exciting game here at Subi. The Eagles playing well. Brennan long towards half forward. Out comes White. Unkind bounce. Down went Lewis off the ball. Pike shrugs a tackle. It spills wide into the pocket and bounces, I think, out of bounds. Tempers afraid behind the play.
Newport coming on. Eishold off for Melbourne.
Boundary throw in. Alongside the behind post. Almost three-quarter time. Can the Eagles get another late goal? Jackson wants to. The umpire lets him go in there. Could have almost been holding the ball. Close to the boundary line. I think I've heard the siren. I don't think the umpire has. People spilling out onto the ground. The game is still going on, but the siren is gone. The siren is gone. White is indicating to the umpire the siren is gone. Turley, minutes after that siren, seems that way.
No, one umpire's put his hands up, Dennis.
I know, Don. So it's three-quarter time. Shades of Prince's Park last season. Was it the season before? Three-quarter time. Eagles 9:20. Melbourne 8:10. That was like the long count with Gene Tunney and Jack Dempsey. It went on forever. We'll be back shortly. Back at Subi, let's go down now to Bruce Monteith.
Yes, Dennis. Well, John Todd's appealed to his players. They've put in 3 good quarters so far. He wants a 4-quarter effort. The game's there to be won. He's asked them to keep running, attacking the ball, and really take this game out. John Noldy, on the other hand, they haven't played well. He wants to finish the game off and take the bacon home.
14 points the margin. Scott tried to take clean possession. Phoebe goes in. Hand passes out. Lamb missed it off the ground initially. Does nicely, though. Cleverly got it back to Lewis. Lewis goes into the forward line. White in best position. Courageous mark going back. What a good mark that was. Sean White. Pack bearing down on him. That hurt. He paid the price. Gets it across to support. Yates back towards centre wing. Scott battling with Steins. Phoebe. Great courage again off the ground, but only as far as Hart. The short one is on. He tried to go too short. As a result, an opportunity for Lyon. He was trying to get it over the top to O'Connell, but Lyon pumps it down towards Melbourne's half-forward line. This is where they've broken down all day. And one of the reasons why is after the ball now. McKenna chases up his own hand pass, but he's pushed off the ball. Coming in the other direction is Stretch. Tumbles a kick down towards the pocket. Valiant attempt to mark by Bennett. Picked up by Hart. Gets the hand pass away. Taken by Miles, who goes across the ground and finds Main Waring. Main Waring, right half back. Pulls it back into the path of Lewis. Lewis one hand up. Knocks it forward off the ground by Turley. Now an opportunity for Lovett. Didn't get the soccer on the ball. Gets a second opportunity though. Across to Grinter. He's pulled off the ball. It's jarred free towards Scott. Scott in deep trouble. Goes to ground under Tingay's tackle. Lewis is in there. And the umpire will call for it. As you'd expect, the stakes are high on both these sides going at it to start the final term.
Kavanagh lining up on the half-forward flank now, being picked up by Brennan.
Steins tries to take it out of the air and gets a quick short kick. Nicely picked up by Stephen Newport. Melbourne go down towards their half-forward zone. Spalding comes over the top and takes a fine mark. So Earl Spalding will kick from just outside 50 metres. They're all important now, but a good mark, Don.
Magic mark, and what a terrific effort by Phoebe earlier to run straight when Scott was coming the other way.
Earl Spalding, 55 metres. Drop punt goes into the square. Bennett in front. Lockyer gets a touch behind, and it goes over. 4-1 behind. 9:20 plays 8:13. 13 points the margin. Lockyer wide to Lamb on 50 metres. Main Waring calling for it. Lamb elects to go shorter. Don't know whether he was looking for Turley initially, but he's got Waterman under heaps of pressure. Lyon tried to farm it out. Hughes waits for it to come out. Eventually it was Anir who got the hand pass away. The Eagles trying to go forward, but Stretch stopping it. Or does well, Stephen Stretch. Then gets a quick kick to the half-forward line once again. Clever tap on over the back. Here's a chance for Bennett. Tried to swat it on to Spalding. He gets it there now. Spalding shoots. Spalding goals. Great play.
Without question, the team goal of the day, that last one from Melbourne. They trail now by 7 points. They have the breeze. It's about even up now. Lyon, the high kick towards half forward. McKenna under no pressure. Drifting back takes the mark. There's the time remaining as he lays it off to Sumic. Sumic, the high kick towards centre wing. Stretches in front. Good work by Lovett behind. Kept his opponent out. That should have been a mark.
My word, it should have been a mark. And he was upturned when in mid-air. Stretch.
Every throw in though. No mark was paid. Sumic is off the ground. Hutton is back on. Behind Newport, kicks it directly towards the new men on the ground. Hutton, he stays out of the contest, but there was a push off the ball, and Ania will get the free.
Playing well in there, putting himself in front and backing himself.
John Ania. Game bogged down momentarily. The Eagles can't square the ball. They have to play conventional football along this wing. Stretch was up. Turley came over the top. Charged down brilliantly by Phoebe. Phoebe, the quick rebound opportunity to Jackson. He's marked just outside 50. Jackson goes for the short pass and finds Hughes, who can kick it a mile.
That was meant for Bennett. He was the moving target. This kick by Jackson found Hughes.
So Denny Hughes, chance to cover himself in glory. That again, as we've seen so often, drifting away to the right.
If you're a gambling man, Sandy, with this breeze, you'd have to say Melbourne would be favourites at this stage. It really is freshening.
Yes, 74 plays, 68, one straight kick in it. Lockyer uncertain as to where to go. Eventually looks for Scott. Spalding chips in front. Could be very costly. Earl Spalding from 50 metres pulls it in towards goal. I think he's levelled the scores. He has. The scores are level here at Subi, 74 apiece. Earl Spalding, 3 goals, 2 in this quarter. Can the Eagles bounce back? Worsfold taps it down towards the half-forward line. Lovett and Lewis will clash. O'Connell tries to get it out. Eventually Loveridge gets it to Newport. Newport's high kick towards the half-forward line, and Tommy Kavanagh takes the mark. He's been on and off the bench today, Kavanagh. Goes short. Johnson couldn't take it. It was meant for this man, Bennett. Oh, he almost got clear. Now McKenna gets the hand pass away. And Ania should get the Eagles out of trouble. Down towards Waterman. Loses out to Hughes. Tries to bend one back. Oh, it's high. In towards half-forward, and Bennett stands his ground and takes the mark.
It's amazing when forwards really put pressure on the backman, how it starts to turn your way. Melbourne working a little harder down the back line there. The high ball from Hughes, not a pleasant ball to be under.
Darren Bennett looking for his second goal. And it's a good-looking kick. They're reading that win now. 2 goals to Darren Bennett, and Melbourne hit the front by 6 points. 11-14-80. The West Coast Eagles 9-20-74.
If I was coming home in an exciting last quarter, I think I'd be going to the stand end that Melbourne are going to. But the West Coast have certainly got the crowd behind them.
Amazing day's football this. The Eagles dominant for the best part of the game. But Melbourne finding some hidden resource now. Can the Eagles match them? Melbourne wants more out of this centre. Phoebe is having a good term so far. Kicks it out wide. More pressure for the defence. There's the time remaining, and McKenna content to run it across the boundary line. Johnson's on the forward line for Melbourne.
And Turner coming on. Waterman off. West Coast.
Rucks go to it. Scott and Hughes trying to knock on Tingay. McKenna gives the ball away. That was tentative. Stretch goes right across the ground. Beveridge is in front down there. Over the top, Worsfold. Brennan does brilliantly, outnumbered 3-1. Made something out of nothing. Now Ania's away. Ania goes out wide into the path of the leading Bremen. Fisted away brilliantly by White. No, the umpire says over the shoulder. Turley wants to go on, but the ball is coming back to Bremen. Goes in short. Over the top, Lyon fists away from Ania. Ania is left lamenting as White puts it back to midfield. A great contest over the top. Sliding in there was Tingay, and the umpire is going to ball it up.
What a remarkable athlete Sean White is. He set Bremen up on that occasion and still made up and got to it.
Melbourne lead by 6 points. They trailed by 14 at three-quarter time. An amazing transformation. Loose men on the forward line. Jackson got it to Hughes. Just shrugs a tackle. Melbourne's strength the deciding factor now. Tingay's kick not a good one though. McKenna won't mess it up. Knocks it across. Taken by Mainwaring.
Mainwaring from half back. Good shepherding. Sees him clear. Going out wide. Very wide to centre wing. And that ball just bouncing inside. So we'll have a throw.
There's no run at all on these West Coast. They're playing stodgy football.
Waterman not happy about being off the ground, sir.
No, not the first time today. He's started the game so well. There's the amount of time remaining. Still plenty of time for both sides as Lyon keeps it in play. Unable to take it on the half volley was Dwayne Lamb. The West Coast Eagles desperately need the next goal. They trail by 6 points at the moment. It's on their half back line. The chance is with Hart. Taking it from Hutton. Going wide towards centre wing, and O'Connell takes the mark. O'Connell now going up towards the 50-metre line. Sean White is there, trying to push the ball clear. So too Bremen. It comes out the back. Lyon heads towards the boundary line. And we'll see a throw. Simon Eichhold. Cooling his heels. Here's the throw in. Steins won it. Grinter tries to flick it in. In fact, he does keep it in momentarily. Turner kept his body over the ball and then came away with it, but only as far as the half forward line. Melbourne defence standing strong. Steins towards Johnson, who can't quite take the diving mark. Turley's got to beat two of them. He can't. Stretch gets the kick down towards the right half forward flank. Out comes Lockyer to meet the football. Kicks wide to the wing. No mark taken. Johnson pulled off it. Stretches down there with him. The umpire says it is held, much to the disappointment of the Eagles fan.
Two good efforts by Johnson. Alan Johnson, the way he trapped the ball near the centre of the ground on that occasion as well.
Stretch did well too to go back and commit as he did. Steins wants to keep it close to the boundary line. Good policy. Worsfold was pushed in the back and he's going to get a free kick. Haven't seen a lot of John Worsfold today. He's on centre wing then. The Eagles not done with yet. Long kick down towards O'Connell, uncontested. He takes the mark. I think they're just tagging along behind, standing the mark. O'Connell. The Eagles need a goal. Down towards full forward. Bremen is down there. White did well to get a hand on the ball. Turner in the grasp. The hand pass as a result, not a good one. Great composure by Lovett to give it to White, who comes out wide to Phoebe. Phoebe's on centre wing.
Playing well in the centre, Stevens, Phoebe.
Phoebe will go for distance. Melbourne lead by 6 points, but that's not enough in this situation. Off hands, it falls to Kavanagh, to Jackson. Jackson, has he got the accuracy? No, he hasn't. Minor score. They lead by 7 points. That's handy, nevertheless.
Could have gone further on that occasion, Ricky Jackson. Well set up by Kavanagh. With a very quick head, Kavanagh thinks quickly.
11:15 to 9:20. Lockyer to bring the ball back in for the Eagles. To Mainwaring in the back pocket.
Unbelievable.
My word. They've done it well, haven't they?
Short to Scott. Phil Scott from the half back line wobbles a punt kick towards centre wing. O'Connell must come from behind to affect the spoil. Beveridge gets it clear. Ritter's kick goes up towards Newport. Now he can go wide if he wants to. Stephen Stretch from 60 metres. Let's go a drop punt deep in towards full forward. Spalding's at the back and he's marked another one. So Earl Spalding has really transformed this game in this quarter.
He has. He's taken some good marks down there, but he let Hutton, his man, run off him before, and Earl just had the hands on the hips, and Hutton set play up by running down. He's still got to work hard. The game's not over.
This for goal number 4. And it will make it tough for the West Coast Eagles now.
12:15 to 9:20. Don't discard the West Coast Eagles just yet. I think they'll come back strongly in the last 15 minutes or so. Steins out of the middle. But Melbourne, they have been superb so far in this term. Johnson a chance to end it all. Pulls it back. Hutton takes the mark on the kick-off line. Just in the nick of time. 13 points the difference. Kick to the outer side. Turner stands his ground and takes a strong mark. Short one comes across and near. The Eagles must get the next goal. Towards half forward, O'Connell out in front of Lyon. There's a man on, that's Jackson. Sensing the danger, White peels off and comes to him. Oh, brilliantly done. That could be the play of the game. Through the legs of Jackson, though. That's Ricky Jackson, Melbourne's Jackson. Phoebe off the ground. There's going to be a free kick out there and something as well.
Wasn't that great play by White on that occasion? He had two men. He picked the man on the left. The ball went there. He backed himself in.
Jackson let him down. That was Ricky Jackson.
Lewis has it. Just forward of centre to Miles. With him was Hughes. Couldn't take the mark. Yates picks it up now for the Demons. Goes high, back towards centre wing. Tingay, a chance to get clear. One bounce across the wing. Melbourne quickly into attack, down towards their left half forward flank. Coming to meet it is Hutton for the Eagles. Kicks under pressure, but pulls it back towards centre wing, and the mark is taken by John Annear. The Eagles desperate for the next goal. Wide to O'Connell. Now down towards half forward. Turner tries to farm it out. The Melbourne defence now showing plenty of desperation. Lamb gets the hand pass away to the loping O'Connell, who kicks boot and ball. This will result in a goal out of Turley. Well, that's exactly what they wanted. And we're back to a 7-point margin, Don.
Well, Turley been on and off the ground today. And what a great game we have. Some terrific passes of play. And here's Scott. There it breaks the Turley. Open goal. 7 points of difference.
Well, how would you be if you're a Melbourne fan? You go through this just about every week. 12-15 Melbourne. 10-20 the Eagles. Steins, clean possession, gains about 5 metres, off the ground again by Steins, but into the path of Mainwaring. Defensive side of right centre wing, boots it down towards half forward, surely a free kick to the Eagles.
Nice hold on, Bennett off for Melbourne.
Mike has got the free, held by Yates, chance to pull it back to just 1 point if they can goal on this sortie forward. Fisted away by the defence, Dersma, only as far as Jackson. He goes in short and finds Bremer. No one standing the mark. He thought about going. And now he settles. Todd Bremer. I don't think the distance will be a problem from here. It's a question of accuracy. He's got one so far. Bremen with the crowd willing this one on. They steered it through. There's a point.
1 point the difference from the middle now. Anyone's game. It's Turner for the Eagles, putting them into attack down towards the half forward line, and Lamb. Can he get clear? Onto the left foot he goes, drifting it in towards the pocket. The sun appearing to get in Jamie Dersma's eyes at the crucial stage. He lost it. And they bottle it up down there in that forward pocket zone for a bounce.
Frustrating playing football on days like today when the sun's out.
Melbourne lead by a point. Lewis goes for the mighty thump down, looking towards Pike. Dersma is over the top. They'll have another bounce. So an amazing game. Steins to Grinter, kick smothered. Grinter goes in again, and Jamie Dersma is unceremoniously dumped over the line with the ball.
Science goes out the window in exciting games like this. There's just bodies around ball.
Steins, Newport, a hurried kick. Mainwaring intercepts from 50 metres. He goes short. There's a couple of them there. He picks out Miles. So Jeff Miles will kick from possibly just inside 50 metres. He can level the scores, or he can cover himself in glory and give the Eagles the lead. Perhaps neither of the two, who knows. The kick looks a beauty off the boot. Down goes the goal umpire. And he's up and smiling, it's a goal. The Eagles back in front.
Miles playing on the back line. He's done that twice in this quarter, running deep into the forward line. It nearly came off earlier. Came off on that occasion. Use his man, centre half forward. I don't know where the other Melbourne fellows Eagles are. They're further up the ground, or have they gone defensive and playing men in the back line when the Eagles have got fellows prepared to run off their half-back line?
A gutsy performance by the West Coast Eagles. They led by 14 points at three-quarter time. Melbourne got out to lead by 13 points in this term, and now the Eagles have come back. But knowing Melbourne, this is not over. Stretch from Phoebe. Great Shepherd from Hughes. Stretch from 60 metres. Long towards full forward. Spalding the danger. Fisted away by Lockyer. It comes out towards Mainwaring. From one end of the ground to the other, Chris Mainwaring. He's looking for the boundary. And will find it.
Great play by Mainwaring. He led Tingay to the ball. Should have been the opposite way around there. The ball was going high. Tingay should have ran underneath that pack.
Eagles by 5 points. Throw in on the outer side. Jackson and Stein. Steins has rucked all day. Boots it down towards the pocket. McKenna, the sweeper behind the pack, comes across to tidy up and breaks away this guy McKenna. Comes down the ground with runners out wide. There goes the kick. It bounces obligingly for Mainwaring. Superbly done. Individual brilliance by Chris Mainwaring, having a big input into this game. Gets it away to Pike. Pike's at half forward. Oh, a great shepherd by Breeman. The short pass comes in. Scott should have taken the mark, but it falls to Pike. Pike is running into an open goal, and he's missed.
There's a Melbourne player down behind play two. Taken out by Bremen. He's up though, it's Tingay.
6 points in at one straight kick. Brett Lovett. Time ticking away for both teams. Stretch gets a kick under pressure towards centre wing. Miles trying to saunter it forward, couldn't do so. This lets in Hughes, who goes with a towering punt kick down towards Spalding.
Didn't he do that well? One hand and he pushed Lockyer off with the other. That's no mean feat because Lockyer is a big, strong fellow. Here it is, Hughes, unscientific, just get the ball and get it down quickly. Well done, Will Spalding.
This to level the scores. And Earl Spalding looking for his fifth. It's drifted to the right again. And one behind on the result. Well, we've seen the ball in that area doing exactly that just about all day. Drifting away to the right-hand side. The margin is now 5. And that makes it just that little bit tougher for Melbourne. But there's still time if they're good enough. Worthwhile. Fine mark in opposition to Stephen Phoebe. Worsfold towards centre wing. On the mark taken by David O'Connell. O'Connell towards Lewis at half forward. Can't mark, close to the boundary line. Lovett overruns it, but the ball goes over anyway. So a throw in, almost at centre wing, with Melbourne trailing by 5 points. Steins got a hand to it. Johnson twists out of and then into trouble. The ball goes to Stretch. Down past Hughes and Miles it goes. Mainwaring has been a sensation. Gets it wide to McKenna. McKenna's dead. He just goes short and finds Turley at centre wing.
Greg Turley, centering kick. And Nia makes the mark. Miles outside. They've got a spare man, but he gives it away. They had a man down the ground. That was Lamb, but now Grinter can carry the ball about 50 metres. Give it across to Beveridge. They've got the spare man. Young Kavanagh from 20 metres out. And Melbourne are in front.
So the Demons lead by 1 point in a thriller here at Subiaco. 94 plays 93. Kavanagh kicks his first. And the youngster will be delighted. Back in the middle. The pressure now back on the home side. The Eagles. Steins wins it. Takes it out of the air. A short kick. Hughes with his strength pushes forward to Stretch. Oh, his hand pass goes straight to McKenna. Will this open the door for them? Scott's high kick. Lewis is getting under it and takes the mark. Goes wide in towards the 50-metre line. Sean White, a tremendous spoil. Bremen is quick. It's close to the boundary line. He keeps it in play, but it goes straight to Tingay. Kick well smothered. Back to the Eagle again. Steins can't pick it up. He'd be tired. He's done some tremendous work. Tingay another kick towards centre wing. Now Brennan gives it across to Scott. Further on to Lewis. Picks it up with a half volley. He's claimed and loses it. The umpires sensibly allowing play to go on. Survival of the fittest. They're all tired, but it's really desperate stuff. Great play by Stephen Stretch. Did well to push it wide towards the wing. Johnson does the shepherding work. Here's a chance for Dersma to pull it back to half forward. No mark taken.
What about Danny Hughes putting his body in there?
And Danny Hughes going to ground. No wonder that woman's looking concerned on him.
Oh, that's terrific stuff. Look, he's trapped the ball there. Could have been taken away easier. Oh, it's good stuff.
Melbourne by a point. Miles. Long away from the immediate danger zone. Jackson gets a bad bounce, had the prompt, was pushed anyway. And Stephen Jackson, who earlier in the day was doing quite a bit of remonstrating with the umpire, will put the Eagles into attack. Time ticking away. Jackson long to half forward. From the back, no mark taken. Play on as the call as Pike goes in over the top. And we'll see a bounce on the
They're still very dangerous, the Eagles. They're still running and they're backing themselves in. As soon as a teammate gets the ball, they peel off and they create a lot of options.
Melbourne lead by a point. O'Connell knocks it down. There's going to be a Melbourne free. What a game. There's the time remaining. You get the feeling maybe the next goal can win this. Steins consumes a little time. Chips it across to Johnson. Johnson goes short. They don't want to be too cute. Phoebe takes the ball forward at right half back. 13-16 Melbourne. 12-21 Eagles. A classical game of football, this one. Phoebe, a long kick. They contest on centre wing. Melbourne get it going their way. Turley goes to ground. Boots in there, bodies in there, and Nia throws himself on the ball, and there'll be a ball up. The clock, the enemy of the Eagles just for the moment. Steins drops back across centre wing. We've got a bounce midway between centre wing and half forward. Hughes goes up. Over the top comes Scott. Crashes to ground. Picked up by Hughes. That's been a good move by Northey. Hughes to the forward line with a kick, not a good one. Worsfold with absolute courage. Great skill by Newport to stop that ball dead. It's picked up by Tingay. Tingay, the high kick. Spalding's in front. Great mark, Spalding.
What about Kavanagh putting his body in there too? This is a magic game of football.
The man who sunk the Eagles in the Elimination Final last season has a chance now to wreak havoc on their chances for 1989. If they're not shot already, this kick would mean the Eagles will languish at the bottom of the table for the best part of the season. Earl Spalding, a study in concentration. The kick is on its way. It's going right to left. It's close. It's a behind. A collective sigh goes around Subiaco Oval, and the game is still alive. 2 points, Melbourne's way.
This is where they look dangerous, West Coast, in these kick-ins.
Well, they certainly need the next score. We've got just on a minute and a half remaining. There's plenty of time. McKenna has it on the half-back flank. 2 points in it. Melbourne leads. They can't waste any time. McKenna kicks to centre wing where O'Connell used the body. Stretch keeps it in play. Courageous effort to mark by Mainwaring. Shrugs the tackle. Sweeps a long hand pass into Scott. Scott onto Miles. Time ticking away. Jeffrey Miles kicks towards the 50-metre line. Pike giving away height. Tries to thump it down in front. Turley claimed. Goes to ground. Loses the football out to Dersma, who hand passes long towards the boundary line. Lyon keeps it in, but only momentarily. A clever kick to push it up towards the centre wing. 50 seconds remaining. Still time for the Eagles.
Hope we can hear the siren this time, Sandy.
I hope the umpires can.
Oh.
Here's the throw in. Centre wing, Melbourne lead by 2 points. Tingay chasing McKenna, comes forward strongly. The umpire goes to ground. He's quite okay and will get up and have another.
Great tackle laid by Tingay.
Oh, what a finish.
What a game.
25 seconds left. 25 seconds for the Eagles to try and snatch victory. They trail by 2 points. Down it comes towards McKenna again. He flicks it on. Turley's high kick gathers little distance. Going towards the half-forward line. Good attempt and a good effort to mark by O'Connell. 8 seconds left. He's got to be quick. Kicks towards half-forward. If it's an Eagles mark, they can win it on the siren. They can win it with Jeff Miles. Oh, no. There it is. It's all over.
a game. A fantastic game of football. It's unfortunate, as Danny Hughes celebrating with Lyon, it's unfortunate in this sort of situation, Don, that there has to be a loser, because that was just as good as you can get. And if you doubt that we have one of the great ball games in the world, we've just spent 2.5 hours proving different.
And I tell you what, just look at the West Coast Eagles players.
Hands on hips.
Absolutely
hands on knees.
devastated.
Shell shock. Lane Waring, they can't get over it.
What a performance by Melbourne. They were 14 points down. And they've come from behind in this final term to snatch it by 2. 95 to 93. It was a classic at Subiaco Oval. We'll be back shortly. Just a marvellous game of football this afternoon in ideal conditions here at Subi. The Eagles led at every change. 13 points at quarter time, 3 points at half time. After what seemed a match-winning break at three-quarter time of 14 points, Melbourne got out to lead by 13 points midway through the term. The Eagles wrested back the initiative. They led by 6 points. It was reined into 5, and eventually Melbourne home by 2. Remarkable game of football. 12-21, I guess. They could say they kicked their way out of it. 12-21-93. Melbourne 13-17-95. But Melbourne make a habit of winning the close games, and again they've done it today. That's a tribute to John Northey and his men. Just checking the goal scorers firstly for Melbourne. Earl Spalding, superb at centre half forward. He